Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Chelsey Hallblade, founder of Slay Squad Coaching, a fitness and empowerment brand that helps clients build strength, confidence, and sustainable habits through fitness, mindset shifts, and community support. Chelsey's approach is all about long-term transformations, both physically and mentally, and about fostering confidence that goes far beyond the gym. Chelsey, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm very, very much excited to dive in and learn a little bit more about your journey. So, Chelsey, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Slay Squad Coaching, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yes, so my background is I'm actually a registered nurse, and that's what I thought I would do really for my whole career. My thought was I'd probably become a nurse practitioner and kind of go from there. And I was in the hospital for about 9 years. And when I started working as an RN, I was only 22 at the time. My health started to suffer immediately. What happens to a lot of nurses, you kind of get in, job is stressful. I was working like a day-night rotation, getting sick a lot, just trying to adjust to the new world of what it was going to be like to work in healthcare. And just having some of my own struggles with how to eat, how to sleep while on night shift, just really feeling awful. And that's what kind of dove me into the world of health and fitness, which started from the time I was 22. And then I kept working in healthcare for a long time. Again, no idea that that would not be my career. And it really just happened very organically where people were needing help. I was authentically just sharing my journey online. And I was getting a lot of healthcare workers, coworkers, people just being like, "What are you doing? I need help." So it came out of just an organic need, I would say, of people approaching me like, "Hey, I have the same struggle," and I just realized it's like all of the healthcare workers. It's not
Literally.
just me. They're all struggling. They're all stressed.
Yeah, it's so ironic, but I feel like every healthcare worker in the world can really relate to you and your story because it is for such an important part of like the global ecosystem of keeping people healthy. There's it's such a, as you say, a strenuous job on your own health, like personally, the hours you work, obviously the physicality of the job as well. It does take a lot out of you. So obviously through that you've learned great experience of how to take care of yourself. You can now pass that message on to other people. Naturally through that transition, how did you find obviously from becoming a nurse to an entrepreneur? Was that something that you very much took on gradually, or was it something that you took on thriving?
That's a great question. I would say it was very gradual because my intention was never to be an entrepreneur. I never
Yeah.
saw myself as an entrepreneur or a business owner. That was never my goal. It was 100% to work in healthcare forever. And so it just kind of showed up for me. So I started again, just kind of my own journey. I dove in, I did some bodybuilding at the beginning of my fitness journey. That resulted for me in actually like health complications in not a good way of the extremes.
Yeah.
And so then I dove headfirst into like, okay, what does it mean to actually be not just fit and not just look good, but like actually be healthy internally? And that's where my passion for coaching kind of began because I hired my own coach. They really helped me. And I had, again, just coworkers and people online being like, can you help me? And I would just help them. Like it was not something I charged for. It was just for free. It was just a passion, something I loved. And then I started to get kind of busy. So I started to charge a little bit for help. We're talking $60 a month. Like, should have been charging like so much more, but I just had no idea. And my heart was just really to help people.
Yeah.
And then I started to grow that. I started to increase my prices. I started to actually kind of take it seriously. I started to create like a small business for myself, just on the side. Again, just a hobby kind of thing, to be honest. And
Yeah.
then it just started to get busy. And so then I went part-time in the hospital. And then I went PRN, which was like 2 shifts a month in the hospital. And then eventually I quit and went all in. So it was definitely like a gradual thing for me.
Yeah, but I say I love the natural approach to it. As you say, it was like I just started helping people out, and that was the driving force. And I feel like when you do have that ambition to just help people, naturally everything else comes. Like you'll know yourself, the money comes in, the clients come in. It is like that burning passion to just do good towards other people. So, Chelsea, let's dive into Slay Squad coaching a little bit more, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So, at this point in, who would you say like is your ideal client? Like, who do you very, very much love to work with the most? And then from there, how would you help them? And how would you support them along their own journey?
Yeah, so my primary client is other nurses wanting to, typically they want to lose weight, get healthy while working 12-hour shifts. And then I also work with a lot of postpartum moms because that is just a really difficult time to navigate making time for themselves. There are different modifications and things you have to do with nutrition and with diet. And so that's another area of my expertise. So those are the couple areas. But I'm at the point in my business now, I have a team of coaches. There are four of us. So I do a little bit of the coaching, but most of it is done by my team, and they all have a little bit of a different specialty. So we do a lot of pregnancy, postpartum coaching. And then we also have a coach that specializes in like hormones and women over the age of 40, and helping them navigate that change. And then she also does a little bit of coaching competitors. So those who want to really, get that elite physique and do
Yeah.
bodybuilding. So we have a little bit of a variety.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's nice that you can, as you say, meet people kind of where they're at and whatever their goal is and looking to achieve. It's nice that you do have that variety to provide to your clients that you're looking for. And what is kind of your like style or approach to coaching within the business?
Yes, as far as like fitness and nutrition, like how do we help people?
Yeah, or like what is your approach you take? Do you get very on hands-on with them, like in the trenches? Like what does the kind of program aspect look like?
Yes, absolutely. So primarily we do one-on-one coaching. That is like my signature offer. It's a majority of people in the program. So that means we're working with you one-on-one to dive into your current habits, your current goals, create a roadmap for success, and everything is very hands-on with either myself or one of the other coaches, where we're going through check-ins weekly. We're looking at your nutrition weekly. We're actively helping you with mindset blocks. We're with some of our clients, we're speaking on a daily basis because that's really what it takes. I think so often everyone who's trying to look for this transformation, they sign up for a challenge or a workout program, but it's not enough. They've done enough of that. That is not enough. Like if you actually have years or decades of poor habits, poor mindsets to uncover, to undo, it's going to take something a little bit more hands-on to help you push past those roadblocks than just being handed a workout program.
Fully, and it so is. And I think that's one of obviously the issues you're facing at the moment within that fitness sector and the health sector. There's so much noise and so much fad advice going on. Like if you understand what I mean by that term, where it's like, as you say, the instant success, the bikini bodies, like that perfect gratification everybody's looking for. And for me, it is about that longevity piece, that sustainable habits moving forward. And naturally, everything else comes good. It's like you look after yourself and the weight will drop if that's your goal. If you want to build muscles, just building those habits every day. And a lot of touch points is really good because you never know what's going to happen throughout life either. You can have something that throws your mindset in a completely different way. So having your personalized approach the whole way through is a really nice touch to that. And also with that being said, with all that noise going on in the fitness industry, like how do you go about acquiring your customers? So like how do you go about making yourself stand out and just finding those right people to work with?
Yes. So we have two primary ways that we meet people, help people. And I would say one is referrals. So really proud of like the business that I've built because I think why so many people focus on how do I get new business? How do I make more money? How do I get new clients? Like obviously, yes, you have to do that to scale. But I've always had the approach of like client experience first. And so we have incredible retention. People stay with us for a very long time. And then because of that, they obviously have a great transformation. So we get, Sarah comes and hires us. Sarah loses 30 pounds. She's looking
Yeah.
good. Her mom's like, what are you doing? And her best friends are like, what are you doing? Like, so that is like my best, I guess, tip or piece of advice for anyone starting is like, yes, you need new clients. Obviously, it's okay to want to grow and scale, make money. But if you have even a few clients, like give them everything first, because if they get a transformation, they're going to tell everybody, or people will literally just see it. So
Hmm.
we have a lot of client referrals, and that's kind of always been there. It continues to be there.
Love it.
And then, secondly, of course, social media. And social media is so powerful. You can do it completely organic without cost. And then you can also, we're doing scaled ads at this point.
Yep.
But social media is so powerful. It's a way to reach people all over the world. So
Yeah.
those are, our two. two main ways.
Beautiful. Yeah, and actually having a great referral system is so integral when you're at those early stages. It just shows kudos to the work you're doing, as you say, like having that nice rapport and those client testimonials. You kind of won't get a better form of client coming through. That is a very hot lead on the end of that. And then social media, as you say, it's just great to reach even more audiences that are outside of your own ecosystem. So you mentioned that you are running ads. So like what I think that brings a great lot of consistency as well to obviously lead through. What channels are you finding most effective for yourself though?
Right now, we're primarily doing ads on Instagram. So that's
Nice.
really the only place I've truly experimented, I would say. I would like to do some Facebook, but as of now, it's just been Instagram.
Yeah, cool. I think yeah, Facebook is a great add-on to that. Obviously, the Metasphere is really cool. Also, we use a lot for ourselves here is YouTube, which is another one that kind of comes in
Okay.
really good with that longer form
Hmm.
content. It's really, again, playing with
Yes.
the audience. I know you said you have a team of coaches, but do you ever also have a team that are helping out on the back end of things in the business, such like marketing, lead gen, maybe even taking a few of those jobs that you don't want to do as a founder?
Yes, I have a virtual assistant, and that's so helpful. So any of just the little tasky things, I'm trying to do better, outsourcing as much as I can so that like my time is very much put into things only I can do. Content being the face of the business, running the business, running the team,
Yeah,
all the things that move the needle. So I have a virtual assistant, and then I also have help with setting, so helping on the
yeah.
sales process. And then one of my coaches, I do some of the closing yet. And I have one of my coaches that does some part-time closing for me as well. So there's a couple of us that do the closing process right now.
Yeah, cool. And that will be, as you say, it's, as you look to delegate, there's those are great jobs that you can hand off because they do just take up so much more of your time as a founder. And you don't want to be living in that zone of brilliance the whole time, as you say, like being the face, doing the content, which is a whole nother job these days, being a full-time content creator. But it's good to see. And obviously, we are at the start of 2026. So I'm very intrigued to find out your plans for the future. So, like when you think of taking, those next steps in the business, what is that goal to you? What does that plan look like over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yes, great question. I want to continue to scale the brand and serve and help even more women. Ultimately, like we have a few hundred women in the program now. My goal would be to have thousands at one point. That's the ultimate long-term vision. But for now, just growing, continuing to lean into our referral, our affiliate ambassador programs because it's just authentic, real, people sharing their real life journey. And that is one of the best ways to scale, in my opinion, and then continuing to scale ads and really just lean into that.
Yeah, you've got two really powerful mechanisms to scale there. As you say, cracking that as just really brings in the consistency you need. And referrals, as we mentioned at the start, are so brilliant when you can really focus on your client success. Where are you maybe
Yes.
finding like that the biggest challenge for yourself, Chelsey, in reaching that 1,000 people goal, which is a really nice number to hit?
Yes, so many challenges. I would say the coaching space used to be easier. That's definitely the truth. It used to, I would just share anything and people would be like, coach me, coach me, coach me. And now the space is very saturated because there's a very low barrier to entry. So everyone became coaches. There's so many. So there is a lot more noise. So that's a huge challenge is just cutting through the noise. And because of that, like I kind of tell my team, like, the goal is not just to be good. It's like we want to be the best. So we want the
Yeah,
most client reviews. We want to be top rated. We're one of the top rated companies right now. I'm like, we keep that top rating. We get the most testimonials, the most transformations. The goal is not to be like good. It's to actually, like, when people come to our site, when people speak to us, they're like, wow, they're one of the best, that there's just no question. And to get hyper specific about who we help, even if each coach has a tiny different target, get specific. Like I used to start off like, oh, we can help anyone. You want to build muscle, or you want to lose weight, or you like, no, we're hyper specific. We help weight loss. I help nurses and postpartum moms. That's really it. Lose 20 to 30 pounds. And that's kind of the main transformation. Get specific, be the best at what you do, so that you can come out on top because everyone, there's so much noise. There's so many people running ads. There's so many coaches. There's also a lot of unqualified people out there. So my team has medical backgrounds. We have all the certifications. We're now partnered with an actual medical team. Like we're doing everything we can to like provide a comprehensive service to meet
love it.
the needs of our clients on a deeper
Yeah,
level. So honestly,
love it.
just be better, always be growing so you can
It is
stand
that.
out, make the biggest impact.
Yeah, it is that 1% better every day. You say just keep growing. And you're staying in front of the wave. You're saying making sure you've got all your credentials there. People can trust you. They're seeing the results you're providing. It's getting so saturated within the noise. But as you said, like niching down is one of the best things to do. And I feel like a lot of founders at the start don't really understand the point of it. As you say, they do just want to help everybody. But you have to be heard. You have to be seen as that specialist. So you just drive for that person. And there's no need to say you can't help anybody else that comes in. Of course, if you found they're a good fit and they're not your
Right.
niche, 100%. But you do saturate yourself just trying to help the whole world. You have to kind of start sector by sector and take it from there.
Hmm.
And Chelsea,
Yes.
as one final question to ask you before we log out. So, if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
I would tell myself that I have so much more potential than what I really was thinking and to think bigger quicker. It took me so long to take the leap to go full time with the business or to have any idea what it was capable of. So I played it small for a very, very long time. It was just like this hobby thing. And I don't want to say I have any regrets because everything, the timing was perfect. It all happens for a reason. But my only thought of what I would do differently is taking it seriously quicker
Yeah.
because I think people are capable of so much more if they really like give it their all and they believe they can get there. And so playing it small will keep you small. And so it's only the last few years I started to think bigger. And I'm like, I should have been thinking like this from day one.
Love that. I love that so much. And Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yes, so for fitness and weight loss coaching, it would be slaysquadcoaching.com. That's SLAY, slaysquadcoaching.com. And my Instagram handle is Chelsea Brook Fitness.
Beautiful stuff, Chelsea. And thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate your time today. And
Thank
to
you
our
so
listeners,
much for having me.
no, it's a pleasure. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Chelsea, as she just said, Chelsea Brook Coaching on Instagram. Please drop her a message. I'm sure she would love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we will see you on the next one.